Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Solo Inter podcast. And I guess this is not a good one, obviously, for obvious reasons, because Inter have just lost the Milan derby 3-2. And, you know, you usually don't feel bad when Inter lose after putting up a good fight, but this was nowhere close to that. And as you can see it on our faces, mine, Manish, and Gautam's, that it was a horror show, especially the first half. And I think we'll be talking about it. We are back after of sort of a hiatus, but I'm joined by Manish and Gautam as always. Let's get into the thick of things, guys. Manish, I'll start with you first. What was that nonsense? Like, what did we watch? And first of all, wait, I want to give credit to Milan because yes, they did do well. They pressed us and they completely rattled Inter after their equalizer. But that performance in the first half from Inter, apart from Milan's pressing, was horrendous, man. What's your take on it?
No, I'm just saying, like, we are clueless. If opposition, what they do, if they man mark Brozovic, we are clueless. And in this case, if the opposition presses high, again, we are clueless. And this, I think, last 2 seasons, I've seen this under Simone Inzaghi. Whichever opposition presses us, absolutely clueless. We don't know what. We get panic.
Yeah.
And I think the first half, we did absolutely nothing. And this is where difference is having a Lukaku or Zeko as a forward. Those guys can hold up the ball. Each time Korea got the ball, he was picking it back blindly to Lautaro, who eventually, I think one of them was successful. But other than that, each time he got the ball, he lost it.
Yeah.
So I thought, Zeko, a person like Zeko or Lukaku, because Lukaku's injured. So leaves us with Zeko. Zeko should have started. He should have held the ball. A lot of players who got forward, and then the play should have gone much on. But now, I don't know what. Okay, it's not about just Korea, just that the whole midfield was pathetic this time. Barella had one of the, how to say, insane matches. Nothing. He was invisible.
There was a moment with Barella which frustrated me so much. Like when he lost the ball, and it wasn't a foul. He actually was dispossessed cleanly, and he just threw his arms in the air, and Milan actually started a counter. And I'm watching, and I'm like, dude, they're actually countering and you're just standing and complaining on that spot. And we know that Barella is one of the best runners, at least in the sport. So he had a shocker. That entire right side was a mess. Barella, Dumfries couldn't link up. Skriniar was left alone. But I want to go to you, Gautam, because Pioli's storm, as they say, has struck tonight, and their pressing did rattle us, but it was not only that. Like, you could see the body language as I asked Manish, like what do you think happened? Like, just because of the equalizer, that the body language completely dropped. Like, we've not seen the body language drop so badly. Like, what do you think went wrong over there?
I mean, for me, like, the thing is, forget the depth. If you have a starting 11 when you're playing in a derby, you need to be up for it. You need to realize what you're playing for. And then, like you said, when Barella threw up his hands, we wanted Barella as not we, but people wanted Barella as captain, right, for this season. And even the management were like, Barella will be the captain for this season. You cannot do that when you're the captain. You just throw up your hands when you lose position. No, you have to run after it. You can't wait for the referee's whistle and go after it. And then you don't do that. You just throw up your hands and like, oh, it's a foul, or you didn't give. Like, that's not what a captain does. Yes, Barella is instrumental for us and stuff like that, but this is not captain material. And then, like, if you see Brozovic goal, Lautaro held up the play. He made stuff. So he's doing his part as well as Lukaku's part, because Lukaku wasn't there. So he stepped up. I won't blame Lautaro for the loss, but he stepped up and what are the rest of the guys doing? It's a derby. You know what's at stake. Forget the depth of the squad. If you're in the starting 11, you need to pull your weight. You need to pull up your socks and say, like, I am ready for this. It's not about the tactics. It's not about anything. Yes, let's say Inzaghi can't manage this thing. Inter lost last season the title because a draw wasn't enough for us on the final day, because head-to-head counts. And now we are in the same situation. We have lost the thing. So let's say it comes to the last day again.
It's because we've already We have already lost 2 games, and
So
it could be very.
This loss will come to haunt us at the end of the day.
Of course.
So now it's like, what do you want to do with this squad? Like, can you guys step up or can't you step up? Like, forget everything else. You guys, 90% of these guys were champions 2 years back. Do you want to be like, so when Morata was with UA, he kept selling players as soon as they weren't saying like they don't have no motivation anymore. We need hunger. Is that what we want? Like, if this is what we want, then don't be sad when we sell Skriniar. Don't be sad when we sell Barella. Don't be sad when we sell Lautaro, because these guys have won already and these guys are not turning up anymore. Or let these guys turn up and be like, you know what? We lost the title last season on the final day. This season will show what we are and step up. And today they didn't step up. So I literally don't give a shit who these guys are. Either step up or get sold. I literally don't give a shit anymore.
Yeah, so I mean, that is an interesting perspective, because I know it's a bit early in the season. I don't want to make any conclusions yet, but you could then tally all this and look back as to should we have sold a big player and address the overall squad issues. But that is something I feel you can get over into the latter part of the season, because right now, yes, we're all angry because of the way we lost and because we couldn't upgrade per se in certain areas in the squad. But let me come to another point in this match, because we'll be talking about this the squad over the course of the season. But I want to come back to you, Manish. For instance, as Gautam said, this is a derby. Yes, the players need to step up and everything, and I do blame the players also. Okay, not only Simone Inzaghi, but I also want to look at Simone Inzaghi, because how many times do we have to plead for Onana to start? How many times do we have to plead for Aslani to even get 5 minutes in the game, especially a derby? Like, what is wrong here? Because just let me put it out here, Manish, before you begin. Onana, we know, is a great distributor of the ball, something Handa can't do anymore that well. Aslani, the kind of negative energy Barella was bringing, Aslani, even if you remember those 6 minutes you had spoken of when Aslani had come off the bench, the positive energy he can bring, the technical ability he can bring. So, Manish, what do you think it needs for Onana and Aslani to get more game time than usual? Because clearly they can make a difference.
No, but I'll start with the first point you mentioned about Inzaghi. I think this match is clearly down to Inzaghi's poor preparation, because I think this is the first derby I've seen in as many years where the team came with no motivation, absolutely clueless. And you saw Milan, each time we had the ball, they're closing us down, they were charging. Even Giroud, I don't know how old is he, but still he ran the whole pitch, like each time Handanovic got ball, he was trying to close him down. So the preparation was done to the T, so perfect. Whereas Inter was, I don't know, for some reasons, like Gautam said, the players felt like they're superstars, magically just want to win. Because 2 years back, we won the title. And last year we beat Milan 3-0. So they just thought, today is going to be the night. So very poor motivation. And Inzaghi's second thing was substitution again. The first half was pathetic. Any other coach like Jose Mourinho, what they do is, if the thing's not working out in the same half, he will do the substitution. He will remove players in the same half.
Yes.
This first half was pathetic. And the next 15 minutes, we had absolutely no control of the match and they scored 2 goals. So I think it's down to Inzaghi and the stubbornness of Inzaghi. And coming to your point, which you mentioned, Inzaghi is a stubborn coach. Don't expect Onana's going to start with the next Serie A matches. I don't know if magically Champions League matches, if Onana comes in, that's going to be good. But in the Serie A, I think this season it's locked and done basically. That Handanovic will start till the season ends. If Handanovic breaks his hand, I'm sure with the scars will come in and be a keeper. But Parmesan, it would be unfair to blame Handanovic. This, I think, defense was shambolic. You saw the acres of space. Giroud was left with a circle around him. We had like 6 or 7 players in the box. Still, Giroud is left free. Means, what do you say on that? And okay, I know Handanovic obviously is his. He could have stopped or did well, but nothing he could do as a keeper, because if we let a striker shoot, and with the composure Giroud has, he'll creep into the corner anyways.
No, I don't take anything away from Giroud, because I know that he's a fantastic finisher, and that defending was terrible. It's not only on Handa, the positioning from De Vrij, Bastoni was really poor. but that shot like bobbled off the ground, and it was, you
that
can sort of
no,
save
that
that.
is,
Like,
that is so stupid. Like, dude, that goal is so retarded. It wasn't. I don't know, like, whether I have to blame Handanovic or the defense for that, but for that goal to go in a derby, when like you know the capability of the opposition, they are not Salernitano or Crotone. You know the capability of the
exactly. You had to close them down.
It's not even a clear shot; it's a scuffed shot, and you're letting that go in, and you expect
and
to win.
and the irony is, when I was watching that whole sequence build up, the moment Giroud just moved into that space, I could visualize Giroud taking a shot, like it bobbling off the ground and going in. That's how exactly I visualized it before that happened, and that's exactly what happened.
No,
I'm not surprised.
Just one thing to ask both of you guys. Like, time and time, Leao was destroying the left flank, right? Skriniar was left alone. There was Tonali coming, doubling up. There was Theo Hernandez doubling up. Where was Dumfries? Dumfries, I don't know what he did. Defensively, was absent completely. This game here was completely absent. Skriniar was alone, 1 against 3, and there was like a mini triangle between Leao, Tonali, and Theo Hernandez, and it was crazy. And the left side, first half, absent completely. Bastoni and Darmian, nothing. So, of course, it's a very poor preparation formation for this game.
And that brings me to Milan's third goal, Gautam, because as Manish said, Leao kept attacking the left side, and we know that Leao is fast, he's technically great. He has that sudden burst of pace when he turns and drops the shoulder. But if you're leaving Skriniar alone with Leao, that's not going to help anyone. Skriniar isn't the fastest player, but he's great with his tackling. We know this. And as Manish said, Dumfries wasn't there, Barella wasn't there to protect him, and that felt because of the entire attitude, And on the left side also, Gautam, I want to bring this up because I want to ask you, because we saw that Milan's right side probably in that first half was the most vulnerable in terms of going forward and defending. We could have taken advantage, yet we didn't bring Gosens in, who's known to be a direct player, and taking on that responsibility to attack his area. So what do you think? Like, do you really think Gosens should have come on immediately in the second half, or do you think bringing Di Marco in for Bastoni was fine first? And what do you make of Di Marco's performance as well? Because I did feel he put in at least he showed some fight, but of course there were some errors on his part too. So what are your thoughts on that?
With Di Marco, there are going to be errors. See, he's like the next. He's a level up on Nagatomo. He's going to give 100%, but there are going to be some drawbacks here and there. You're going to find some errors or that. But the thing is, like, today I don't want to put it on the defense at all. We are supposed to have one of the best midfields in the league. And if you can't control the midfield, if you can't control position, if you can't hold the midfield, then why do you blame the defenders? Like, why do you have the top midfield I literally think we have the top midfield in the league. And if you can't hold up against these guys, and if you're slacking off, letting it go to the defense, when and I'm saying Di Marco he's a good player, but he's a weak link when it comes there.
He's not like we know his level as of now. I get what you mean. Yes, like there is a lot of
you would expect mistakes coming from his side.
No, but I thought after Di Marco came, we saw some action on the left flank. Till then, the left flank was dead. And as soon as Di Marco came, the link up with Darmian, many times we saw and the goal, I think second goal which we scored, it came from Darmian side, which Di Marco again linked up with Darmian.
Yes, I'm not talking about offense. Like when we lose possession, with the midfield that we have, we shouldn't leave the defense hanging. We should always be 5 at the back.
That's fair. That's fair because that's what partly happened today when Barella and Dumfries couldn't get their thing right and Skriniar was left isolated. So I want to come to this now because, the thing is, you pointed out about the midfield, Manish has spoken about the defense. It's also about the attack because now the thing is when nobody could literally supply Korea and Lautaro, and Korea just can't hold the ball, as Manish said. Manish, I know you said Dzeko should have started, but do you really think that, starting him would have technically enforced Inzaghi to change his plan, and then maybe our wing backs could have done better, or maybe even the likes of Barella could have found a focal point to play off? Do you really think that, we could have had a much better game had Dzeko started, and then Korea come on later to play between the lines and give Milan a problem?
100%. If Dzeko would have started, this game would have shaped up differently, because there was absolutely no one to hold up the ball. And like Gautam said, the first goal which we scored, that's when Lautaro, the only one, held the ball well with his back, with his strength. And Lautaro is not known to do that, but that's the only instance which we scored. So,
agree.
And our play is such that we don't have direct plays. Like you said, without Gosens, anybody starting, we don't have like a person like Liao just run and does something magically, and we don't have those type of players.
Yep.
So for us, it's all about the build-up play. It's like, okay, maybe a long ball to Dzeko. Dzeko holds it widely, and then suddenly passes to Bella. Bella releases Dumfries. That is what our play has been for all this while. And the first step itself, we couldn't get right. There was nobody to hold up the play. Each time Lautaro got the ball or Korea got the ball, they were losing, and their link up also wasn't that great. Only for the goal, magically somehow everything turned out our favor. But and before that, nothing.
No, but I would see, for me, it's like if Dzeko would have started, I think we would be on Inzaghi. Like all of us would be on Inzaghi saying like,
I get that. Dzeko? Yeah, I get it. That's how the fan base works.
But one thing, honestly, Korea always performed against smaller opposition. Never big. You never saw Korea perform against Milan for us, or against Juventus, or against Roma.
That's true. That's a good point.
Smaller opposition.
But none of us wanted Dzeko to start in any game. So we can't say like
his age. No, but
I think
until last season, Dzeko was a number one striker, right? It was Dzeko and
Lautaro. But saying like Dzeko to start this game, we would have wanted Dzeko. I think that's a post-match reaction saying like, oh, we wanted Dzeko to start. But initially, before the match started, I don't think anyone would have agreed Dzeko should have started.
No, I get what he means. What he means is that, what he's trying to say is that ideally, if he would have seen Dzeko, if you would have seen Dzeko in the 11, it would have made a lot of fans angry, saying that why isn't Korea starting and everything. But I'll be honest with you, I did feel that Dzeko, as Manish said, before the game, I did want him in the 11. This reason, because I feel, Gautam, where Korea does, see, again, I'm not going to be too critical on him just yet, even though it's been over a season. But I do feel that Dzeko tends to get a bit too much of hate unnecessarily, like at times. See, he's old, we know this. He came in on a free last season, yet he somehow scored 17 goals. So you can't take away that.
You are comparing, like, not you, but like everyone is even me, I'm comparing Dzeko to Lukaku when he starts, which is not fair to Dzeko as well.
Of course it isn't. Of course, no. He can't dribble with the ball, he can't carry the ball, but at least he can hold it up.
But the thing is, like, would you start Korea and Lautaro, or would you start Dzeko and Lautaro?
It honestly,
I would have started Lautaro and Dzeko, because you know what, if you're playing Juventus next week, that I would choose Dzeko. Okay, if you're playing a smaller team where we have more of the ball, I would happily choose Korea and Lautaro.
It really depends on the opposition.
A lot of spaces exactly. I agree with that.
I agree with Manish. It really depends on the team. I think because what happened today was also you could see Kalulu getting of Korea, better of Korea in the air. And that is, I think, Dzeko could have outdone him there. And see, like it or not,
how many headers did Dzeko win? How many headers did Dzeko win? The long balls each time he knocked down the ball. So Dzeko is very vital to our link-up play. Okay, people, his finishing sucks, I agree and stuff, but his link-up, his hold-up play is really important. Korea is a player who can hold up the ball. Korea is more like a direct. Okay, like I told you, like, for example, Gautam, we are losing 2-1 or 3-1. You bring in Korea for the last minute to get this magical moment. Korea is that type of player. He can do something out of nothing.
Dude, I think we are stuck with these players who, like, like last season Sanchez, and now we are saying Korea, like all these players are like, oh, if we are losing, let's put them on at 80th minute and they'll do some magic. Like, we don't have, let's say, without Lautaro and Lukaku partnership, if one of them gets injured, we have no other link-up players.
I get what you mean, but then again, that all boils down to the fact that we can't spend
So I
shit on
don't
the
ask you
market.
guys, who's the flop of the match? Who you thought which interplay was worst had a performance? It's Barella. Barella had a nightmare match. Absolutely dismal, abysmal performance. Nothing.
I think I have to agree with Barella because the Manish, like as you said, he was dismal, and the energy he brings when he's having a bad
because we
game.
expect so much of him. And on the other hand, his counterpart Tonali, he was running rings, he was defending, he was tracking down, he was shooting, he was combining 1-2. What energy he had! It was insane.
I want to give. Yeah, sorry, Gautam, go ahead.
No, I would go a completely different. No. I'm going a completely different way, and I'm saying Inzaghi is the flop of the match.
Inzaghi definitely. I told you the loss is down to Inzaghi, but which player?
No, that's fair.
Yeah, if you can't motivate your team during the derby,
but he wants you to pick a player. He wants you to
pick a player because we know the coach was pathetic. I told you that was my first point. But
you don't deny.
Player, then I don't want to pin it on Barella because he has done so much. Like last match, he was man of the match.
Yes, but Gautam, I would say
it's fine. Gautam, we look at each game individually. We don't.
Each game as well.
Yes, it has to be someone.
It doesn't have to be Barella. It can be anybody.
I would put on Barella as well, but for me, actually, it's not the team. It's like players have their moods. But if as a manager, you can't motivate a team to give your all during a derby, then you are at fault.
Yeah, and once again, why took so long to do the changes? I don't get it because the team was lost.
Again,
nothing with it. He waited for them to score 2 more goals.
Having Conte as manager, you're saying some other coach is like doing late changes.
Yeah, so that's the funny thing, See, I know that Inzaghi made late changes, and we've been through this with this Conte too. But the frustrating thing is the nature of those changes. The pattern is very similar, and I'm not I know we have limited substitutes on the bench, but Di Marco coming on before Gosens and everything, when you need directness, and fair enough, Di Marco came on, but then you also bring Gosens on with him, and yes, fair enough, Dzeko came on, but you have the luxury of making 5 substitutes now, and you make them on time. It's as simple as that. And yes, I want to give. I know we've been ranting about, or been talking about how bad Inter were, but one sec, have I?
No, continue.
Yeah. Where do you go?
All right.
What happened?
Yes, fine.
No, my net hung, so I couldn't see you guys for a second.
Yeah. You're online.
Yeah, online. Go on.
No, I couldn't see you guys, so sorry. I'll just start from here. So yeah, I was saying that. It's not only about Inter being bad, but it's also Milan. They did exceptionally well. As Manish pointed out, Tonali, he basically bossed the midfield. He got the better of Barella. He made sure he latched onto that Hakan pass.
But one thing, the pressing, the way they did pressing, we always knew, last 30 minutes they'll be out of gas because from the first minute they're pressing so high and so much energy they used up. That is where the last 20 minutes we should have attacked them, because after that you could see players like Tonali, they gave it all and they had nothing left in the tank. Inter should have taken the advantage of that, because they were completely exhausted. But again, substitution a little too late.
That's down to Inzaghi now. Like he should have done the changes.
Yeah, and it's fair, Manish, because had he made the changes at the right time when Milan did seem a bit off in the second half, when we had the momentum, we could have probably taken the third goal and at least gotten a draw.
Dzeko and Mkhitaryan surprisingly played really well, because I think we have as the only offensive substitution right now. We have no other players right now, so we had to bring him. But he was again a good change. But I wished Gosens also had come earlier, like you said. Then it'd been a different match.
Yeah, and I want to get last thing to cap off this whole thing. I want to get your, as we already pointed out the flop of the match, but who do you think, like, were the at least 3 players in total who you think let this team down and and made sure that nothing pretty much could go in our way and pretty much cost us the game? First, I'll start with you, Manish.
Yeah, Barella was completely off. Second, I would go Dumfries, because Dumfries not he attacked much and he left Skriniar so many times alone. That's second. Third, I would say Korea, because although he did the assist, but pretty much he was really ineffective. Yeah. So these 3 are my flop of the match.
Yeah, agree. Gautam, what about you?
dude, I wouldn't put anything on the players this match. I'm putting
No,
it
you are
all on
talking about the
Inzaghi.
players. No, Inzaghi fine.
No,
I
I'm
agree,
putting it.
Inzaghi, but
I'm putting it all on Inzaghi this time because it's like, dude, if you cannot, these are the situations wherein your halftime team talk, your pre-match team talk, everything should come into play.
But
Like
one
if
thing,
the
Gautam,
players
I'll just say one thing. For example, this is a match of like Milan derby. Okay, the coach doesn't have to motivate the players. The players themselves have to be motivated. It's such a big game.
you
It's like
we
the
are
Milan
stuck with a
derby.
bunch of idiots who are very complacent and don't do shit.
No,
Like you
but
need
still,
a
like this is the form goes
Conte
out of the
would not
window. This is where
so the only thing is like I want to see how Inzaghi would react to this loss because these idiots are always complacent. It doesn't matter whether they're playing Spezia or Milan or Juve or Bayern. These guys are always complacent. It's in our DNA. I'll always. It doesn't matter. 10 years down the line, I'll still be ranting that the players who are there then are still complacent. Like we need a coach to push them and say like, you fucking idiots, you're playing the derby.
That's what
Like,
Inzaghi. What I expected is first
Inzaghi
half
can't
was
do that.
pathetic.
No, Inzaghi can't do that.
The first
If
half
he
was
could have done
pathetic.
that,
We
this
expected some
thing could have.
reaction from the team, but no
Yeah.
reaction came on.
No, there was no reaction.
So painful.
There was
to
no
watch
reaction.
second half.
There was no reaction because the manager is passive. You need a warrior as a manager. Inzaghi is not a
Like
warrior.
Rhino
I'm not
Gattuso
saying
type crazy
he's
guy.
not. I'm not saying he's a bad coach, but in matches like this, in matches which are crucial, I'm not even talking about Champions League. Fuck Champions League. I don't care whether it goes in the group stages, but in matches against Milan, matches against you, and this season especially against Roma, who I think are going to win. These matches, you need to motivate the players to give it your all. Like, dude, you need to be taken out on a stretcher. And if you cannot do that, you are not a coach. It's very easy to coach a team when there's no competition.
Gautam, Inzaghi is at fault. I agree on the motivation side. Also, substitution side was so pathetic and so late. Yeah, but generally the players also should have turned up. I'm really surprised.
Yeah, no,
I would say Barella because like, dude, if when people kept saying Barella last summer, him to be the captain, I kept saying like Barella is not captain material, nor is Lukaku, because whenever they lose the ball or when something happens, they just throw up their hands and they're like, oh, what's happened? No, you need someone like Skriniar to be captain.
And just one more thing to add, Gautam, like you said, you blame Inzaghi. I would blame one step. I'll go ahead of you. I'll blame Zhang on this because if you cannot fucking run a club, sell the club, because he's handicapped Inzaghi. You won't give him the players, won't do the signings, won't do anything.
Yeah, we had to
stagnant to do anything, So I blame Zhang,
No, it's a valid point on Manish's end because
even if you're saying this, even if you're saying this, with the players at disposal, what has Inzaghi done till now?
No, but like you said, like for example, Juventus team was so strong, but like we said, after that motivation level goes, those players have to be sold. You cannot just expect them to magically perform. Players who are willing to die for the team and sweat blood, those players you have to keep. That is very important.
Yeah.
You just can't keep expecting.
I think personally, I think if you want me to name the three flop of the flops, Barella has to be the first. And I think second one, this is tough, man. Dumfries, I think, has to be one as well because that whole right side was dead. And I would pick the third one to be Bastoni because I didn't really like how he was handling his defending today. Like, I think he was very poor. Like, it's very easy to beat Manish. Leao gliding past him, either Bastoni or De Vrij, one of the two, Leao just gliding past them. And I'm not going to solely blame Handanovic on the goals, but yeah, he was to blame as well. But yeah,
Handanovic had fault here, but you can't blame him,
blame him all the time and just get away with it. So yeah, I guess any final thoughts, guys? Because I think this is painful to only go on.
I hope that there's some reaction after this big loss, 2 consecutive losses now with Lazio, a big 3-1 loss, and now Milan we're losing 3-1 against Bayern. Just give it all. Let's put everything on the line. Yeah. I think Onas is going to start. I really feel
that's the catch, dude. That's the catch, right? We are expecting a reaction, and then Gotham, we are playing Bayern next. So
no. You don't want to know my thoughts right now. I'm just saying, like, fuck these guys. Like, you are losing to your title contenders when it's head to head, end of the day.
Yeah.
You're losing to these guys and you expect to win the title. Screw it. Top four, I'm happy. Title, I've given up already.
Yeah. So yeah, that was our reaction, guys. Post-match reaction to our 3-2 Derby loss. Unfortunately, Milano is red. Pioli got everything right. Milan turned up on the day. They were good, and Inter didn't help their cause either by getting rattled too early on. So yeah, you tune into our channel, guys. Subscribe, share, and like the video. And as always, regardless of what happens, sempre Forza Inter.